IT and Commerce to address the gathering, please. I welcome you all, to all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, to my friends from the media. I welcome you all to this conference and to this edition of India Joy 2019. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of joy. I'm sure Rajiv has made sure all of you will have a great event over the next few days. Take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank Twaga for their vital support and their consistent guidance in making the first and second edition of India Joy a grand success. As per research published by a Dublin-based news agency, PR Wire, the animation industry is projected to reach about $270 billion US by 2020, a year from now. Animation services market in 2019 continues to be dominated by outsourced projects from television and film sectors, which accounts for nearly 85% of total animation services turnover in India. With exponential growth in consumerization, in hyper-personalization of content, I think this industry is going to see big leaps in terms of technology and advancements in animation services as well. The animation IP production segment is steadily growing due to increasing demand, as was mentioned by previous speakers, for localized animation content and characters developed for the Indian market across TV and OTT. OTT broadcasters are partnering with animation studios for original content, localized in Indian languages such as Telugu, Tamil, Marathi, Punjabi, etc. Classic example is Chhota Bheem. In fact, Rajiv and the entire team of Green Gold, you guys should be really proud of what you've created out of our own city of Hyderabad. And as Arvind Garu has pointed out, OTT has become an extremely important segment. The size of streaming OTT in just the animation content space is now almost 2.9 billion and is growing at the rate of 8% per annum. So therefore, the market potential is huge. And so is the case with VFX industry. Again, this is emerging. In fact, I remember a conversation with one of the studio owners in Hyderabad. So there was a time when our Honorable Chief Minister said, Hyderabad cannot just be a hub for Telugu film industry, but also possibly the entire South Asian film industry, which really encompasses a lot of languages, a lot of diversity, etc. So one of the prominent studio owners in Hyderabad were having a conversation. So I said, how much of space would you need to create a world-class studio? He said about 5 acres. I completely was lost. I said, how is that possible? I thought you film studios were all about scale, you need thousands of acres of land, etc., etc. He said, no. After VFX has come in, after animation has come in, they have become an indispensable part of movie making and content creation. So therefore, what I would really need is some world-class technicians and possibly about 5 acres of wonderful studios from which I can create another Bahubali or another Iga or Magadhira or one of these large, animation and VFX-based movies that have come out of our own Telugu film industry. So therefore, VFX, as we all know, has emerged and has become an indispensable part of filmmaking, cutting-edge work that is happening in our TV industry as well. And the post-production segment, which I'm sure many of these gentlemen who are sitting on the dais and the ladies sitting on the dais will know more about, also have been witnessing tremendous growth. In fact, 13% is what I'm told, is at which the post-production sector is also growing. International projects also continue to grow and give lion's share of revenues for VFX industries, which is almost 70% of all the work that happens here. Likewise, even gaming industry. I know IGDC is a part of this event. So even gaming industry, for that matter, has been growing exponentially. More than 2.3 billion active gamers in the world. And let me remind you, there's only 7 billion people in the world, so 2.3 billion is a huge number. More than 2.3 billion active gamers in the world right now. And this market, gaming industry, is also pegged at about 140 billion, with digital revenues accounting for 91% of the market, which is nearly $125 billion. Mobile gaming, as was also mentioned, with improved connectivity, with improved speeds, with improved services by our telcos and internet service providers, this is another sector which is only set to grow exponentially. Smartphones, tablets having become an extremely important part of our lives. I'm told again, gaming industry is growing at 25% year on year to a $70.3 billion amount. It is estimated by 2025, the mobile gaming sector alone will be worth close to $300 billion. So the industry we're looking at, VFX, gaming, animation, and content creation, is worth billions and billions of dollars, and more importantly, it's worth millions and millions of jobs which have the potential to be created all here in India and possibly most of it in Hyderabad and Telangana. So I'm looking forward to this event as keenly as you are, and I also would like to add a few more things here. One of the things I'm very excited about, the gaming startup situation in Telangana and in India has gone up tenfold in about 9 years. In 2010, when we had about 25 gaming startups, today we have 250 in 2019. And with a young population, with high disposable income, with very high aspiration, I only believe that this will continue to grow and this will continue to thrive. Popular esports also have become an important part of lifestyle today. Have rich spectator interactions and immersive fan experiences for in-person and online viewers. And I'm delighted also that India Joy has made esports also a part of this event. And we also have, I'm told, Nordwin and esports event participating in India Joy. I welcome them as well. Most of Indian AVCG companies today are either engaged in creating their own IPs in animation TV series or indie games, or executing third-party works from broadcasting channels. Post-production from Hollywood, Bollywood, Tollywood, Mollywood, Collywood, whatever else there is in the world, for all of them. And also, most importantly, creating a great deal of employment for Indian youngsters. I'm delighted that Hyderabad is also shaping up really well. In fact, we have more than 150 companies, including VFX studios, 2D, 3D animation and gaming companies employing about 30,000 people directly, and almost threefold that indirectly in this segment. More importantly, some of the prominent players include, as I've mentioned, in Hyderabad, which have created a great deal of content and have brought in a great deal of laurels for the state and for the city. Green Gold, Electronic Arts, Purple Talk, Roto Maker, Rock Salt, Makhuta, Glue Games, DQ Entertainment, Game Shastra, Digital Domain, Firefly, Prime Focus, and many, many more that I haven't named. Significantly, the state has also been home for some of the biggest blockbusters that have been witnessed in recent times, like Bahubali, Life of Pi, Arundhati, Magadhira, Eager, etc., which have brought a revolutionary change in the industry and even among viewers. Some of the world's best animation, such as Chota Bheem, the biggest kids brand in India, with 100 million followers, is the work of our own Hyderabad-based company. Prominent games such as Farmville, Angry Birds, Escape from Madagascar have also been co-produced by Hyderabad-based studios. We are increasingly seeing animation, VFX, and games production taking place in globally distributed mode. In fact, in distributed mode. In fact, as I was walking up, I was introduced to the gentleman who's made Family Man, which I think his name's Gaurav. Gaurav, in fact, Superman was cool, Spider-Man was cool, but now, thanks to you, Family Man is also equally cool. Thank you for that. Raj, I'm sorry, my apologies. My apologies, got the name wrong. Raj, thank you for making it really cool. And also, we're looking forward to the next season, especially I am. As Arvind Garu was talking about binge watching, of late I was also down for a bit. And when you're down and when you don't want to be disturbed, obviously you end up binge watching. I've done the same. And I was very, very kicked about what I got to watch on Netflix and also Amazon Prime. So I have to mention Amazon Prime, I have to mention Wood since everybody's here. And also the soon to come OTT, Telugu OTT from Arvind Garu. We are also looking forward to that. I can go on and on, I have a long speech, but I've got to tell you this. What we are looking to do in Hyderabad and in Telangana to make this the hub and this the possible epicenter for all of the activity that can come up in ABCG industry is we're coming up with what is called as Image Tower. Image Tower is a project which will be built in the next couple of years. It is coming out with almost 1,000 crore investment, and this would be a 16 lakh square foot space where you would have a lot of very, very interesting things, state-of-the-art facilities for animation, visual effects, and gaming companies. And we have Green Mat Studios, Mocap Studios. I don't even know what Mocap Studio means, but I'm sure motion capture, thank you very much, motion capture studios and DI studios, render farms, data centers, high definition bandwidth, shared software services. More importantly, in fact, we are interested also in creating a great deal of workforce. So, as was pointed out by Biren, we would love for an opportunity to collaborate with the industry. We've already created what is called as TASK. In fact, Shrikant Sinha, the CEO of TASK, is sitting right here, the Telangana Academy for Skill and Knowledge. We'd be happy to collaborate with industry. We'd be happy to roll it out into the tier 2, tier 3 towns of Telangana. We can pick up youngsters from there, work with the industry closely, create employment and also create avenues for you to create wonderful, rich content from our city and from our state. Image Tower, as I had pointed out, will be up and running by end 2021, early 2022. And we are seeking collaborations. We are seeking, in fact, to beat Media City UK or Digital City Seoul. All of these are benchmarks that we have created for ourselves. And we also have come out with a wonderful policy measure that supports this segment. We've introduced our Higher Education Council's Vice Chairman is also right here. And we've decided to introduce ABGC as a subject in all fine arts courses, in degree colleges and university programs. This is basically to create awareness about employment opportunities in this emerging vertical. And we also have, in fact, started training and placement services through TASK in this sector. We also have decided to promote local content creation through reservation of airtime in national channels. I'm not sure how many of the people are watching national channels of Tata Sky anymore, but nevertheless, we're trying our best also to push local content. We also have, in fact, announced a host of cash incentives and subsidies to support the gaming and animation industry. This includes capital investment subsidy, reimbursement of stamp duty, lease rental subsidies, reimbursement of production costs, recruitment assistance, entertainment tax exemptions, market development assistance through exhibition subsidies, reimbursement of internet charges, patent filing expenditure reimbursement, etc. I can confidently say that ours will be and can easily be considered the best package in totality. For marquee names and mega investors, we will tailor-make a policy. We will ensure that we will meet or beat the best offer you have from any state in India if you decide to set shop in Hyderabad and Telangana. One of the primary reasons why Telangana government has decided to conduct India Joy is to create a market outreach program for SMEs in animation, gaming and VFS sector, because the big boys can take care of themselves, but it's the small and medium enterprises and the startups that look forward to the support of the state by way of creating an enabling ecosystem. By this outreach program, we believe that we will be able to create a buyer-seller B2B meet for content production, for publishers and marketing and promoting agencies to meet each other as part of this India Joy program, and ensure that our local producers and local content creators and local publishers interact with each other and ultimately set shop, start up and also scale up in Hyderabad. With the addition of e-sport and OTT, India Joy umbrella is only growing bigger and better. With a policy-driven growth agenda, competent and abundant talent pool and world-class infrastructure, I'm very confident that Telangana will be the most prominent destination for animation, gaming and VFX industry globally. Once again, thank you all for attending India Joy and hope you have a wonderful deliberation here over the next few days. And I also hope that we will receive your continued support and guidance. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
We have done a lot of work for Game of Thrones, Spider-Man. We at around 1400 Hollywood movies have done in Hyderabad, Telangana. So that's proud to say that. Now I conclude the speech. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our beloved statesman, my favorite leader, KTR sir. And thank you sir for all your unconditional support for the growth of AVCG industry in Telangana. And Sri Jaishanjan Garu, who is driving the force to the prestigious event India Joy. His broad vision to make Telangana a talent hub for the media and entertainment industry in India has made India Joy a phenomenal event. My special thanks to Allu Arvind Garu, Namrata Shidurkar, Vijay Subramaniam Garu, Sohan Roy, Vamsi Paidapalli, Biren Ghosh, and as we can see, year by year, this event is transforming into a bigger vision of itself and making its way to become an international calendar event. My humble gratitude to the team of Twaga Association to bring this amazing gaming, animation, VFX, AR, VR OTT, esports in one platform for all of us to witness the whole industry in one place. I would like to thank each and every company and academy in Telangana and all India companies for supporting Twaga to be part of our efforts to contribute to sustainable growth in our industry. The success of India Joy is defined by the efforts put by many people who have worked to plan and organize. I would like to thank each of them for making India Joy a reality. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
KTR Garu, thank you so much. I think you coming, taking time out of your busy schedule on a weekday at 10 in the morning, being here for the industry of VFX, animation, gaming, and now OTT. That means a lot to us, sir, and thank you for your support. And we know you're a leader, not just capable of leading the state, but also the lives. Thank you so much. Garu, thank you, sir, for coming. You've been the backbone of our industry. You've been guiding, supporting, and advising us on every guiding us. And Garu, thank you, sir, for on guide. Dhirenji was my first inspiration as I came into the industry. I don't get staff, delegates, sponsors, and the government of Telangana officials for gracing this occasion. Twaga, which stands for Telangana VFX Animation and Gaming Association, is a non-profit association dedicated to promote and develop media and entertainment ecosystem in Telangana. India Joy is the largest congregation of gaming, animation, VFX, esports, and other entertainment events in India. And this is a second such event. And I'm sure in a few years from today, this will become a global event. And with all your support, and thank you again on that. I'd just like to briefly talk about the various events that are happening over today and over the next 3 days. Starting with OTT Pulse, which is a one-day conclave being held today, brings together all the stakeholders of the new media world, that is top OTT channels and content providers. Then parallelly, we are having VFX Summit, also starting today, and it's going to go on till tomorrow, which is India's first exclusive VFX Summit. There is IFM happening, which is Indiewood Film Market, today and tomorrow. We have Associators, Association of Designers of India, which is conducting Design Joy on 21st November. We have Pencils and Pixels happening, which is a traditional digital art competition to be held over 20th November through 22nd November. We also have, for animation lovers, Desi Toons, which is going to be a one-day conclave being held on 21st of November, and it is bringing together all the industry stakeholders, be it animation production houses, broadcasting companies, and the licensing industry. Well, we have another big event happening, IGDC, or India Game Developer Conference, starting on 22nd November and going on till 23rd November. In its 11th year, IGD is the biggest and the most significant developer conference, not just in India, but in South Asia. The conference plays a key role in developing the Indian gaming ecosystem. We have something new also for the youngsters, which is InfluencerCon. The InfluencerCon is bringing together India's most popular influencers on digital platforms and social media and connecting them with aspirants and brands. For the game lovers, for esports, there is an esports arena, now called as Nordwin, which starts on 21st November and goes on for the rest of the 3 days. And for all who have worked hard through the day, there is Pandora Music Festival that starts every evening around 6:30 p.m. in the lawns of Novotel, and we have it going for 3 days starting on 20th, and we have some of India's premier musicians playing here. Once again, on behalf of Twaga, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the government of Telangana for supporting this event and wishing us India Joy 2019 a great success. I welcome you all and hope you enjoy the experience of India Joy. Thank you so much.
KTR, he will outshine every speaker. And he is one of the best speakers of probably say India. And he speaks so well. So my request is not to place me behind KTR. But I didn't know that I have to talk first. And I told him, you are calling me a speaker. I am not a formal speaker. I am a very informal speaker. I just feel like whatever comes to my mind, I speak. I can't give a presentation. I can't have a huge this thing, and all this I can do. Rajiv said that's the best thing. Please come. And I said, I'm not going to speak. I'm going to put a lot of my. I'm going to represent OTT, if at all. It is. I'm going to put forward a lot of my doubts, my ambiguities, my confusions. And all I put in a bundle and put it there. It may become a speech, it may not. Yeah, it is a very, very new medium, OTT. And still, the biggest giants are still learning in this. This is not an evolved, developed platform. So, I have been making a journey last 30 plus years as a filmmaker. And what I have learned is something different than what is being sought, particularly by the youngsters between these 17 and 34. They're amazing, and these small baby steps that I wanted to take in this OTT are very, I'm very scared actually. I've come here. When Rajiv told me in the beginning, it's a good thing I have to attend many seminars to learn many things there. I didn't know I will end up as a speaker. So, I put forward only all my doubts and confusions. Being a filmmaker, being in some Kerala Blaster sports, being in few other fields, I was very happy coming back home by 8 p.m., playing with my grandchildren, and then get into the room and see this Netflix, the Amazon, the Hotstar, all these things. I was spending for 3-4 hours, and that's the new thing that's happening in my life. My reading is gone. And I was watching these films, and the ambiguity started, the journey started. Is it going to eat my cinema away? That's the first doubt, because I lived there for a long time, made a lot of films, and is it going to steal my profession? My sons are there. It looked like that, such a kind of a big thing. And one day, I was watching Game of Thrones, and I started around 9, and I came out of my bedroom, walked to kitchen to pick up something to eat, and while returning, I have seen my son walking towards the refrigerator. Hey, what are you doing? I'm just watching Netflix, Dad. It's already 3:30, something kind of. I just asked him, what is it you are watching? Money Heist. And then I just slowly walked into my room, continued watching Game of Thrones. By 5:30, I realized my wife shouting at me, took away this and put the TV off. Then it started. What is this? At this age, I'm doing a binge watching. I heard the youngsters do it, but what is this binge watching? What am I doing? This should be something big that's going to come. This is going to something very, very big. Of my age, it kept me in the binge watch. So it started. Then after some time, I was watching Fauda on Netflix. I watched it for 2-3 days. And after a couple of days, I just on my Netflix and started recommendations coming. And many of you would have seen Fauda. It is about Palestine and Israel. And And the popping up recommendations are about the Arabian conflicts, about the stories in Arabian countries, Palestine, this recommendation. How my habits, how this AI, artificial intelligence, is working, and what is this? There is an engine that's working behind. This recommendation engine is doing something, and by seeing those recommendations, all this, I started becoming mad. So, because two things. It's a new thing. I mean, it is, I'm in cinema, and it looks like going to eat cinema away. It looked like to me that day. It's a demand. It is something like big is coming up. That was the fear. So, on this I started experimenting myself, seeing something else, what the recommendations are being done, all this. And I just called one of my friends in Calcutta, who has started a vernacular Bengali OTT in a very humble way. I just called him up, asked him, what is all this? Is it a technological giant, or is it a content giant? What is it? I'm confused. I've seen a lot of content in this, but technology is running. Technology is making me see it. It is giving my options to me to see it, all this. And something technological is there behind running it. I've asked him. I said it's a huge technology that's running, but content is the hard buzz. So, when he says content is hard, I was slightly pleased. Yeah, I'm still there. So, I took the help of KPMG. And in the very first phone call, what KPMG gave me is surprising, that the highest video consumption in India is by Telugu people. Highest video consumption. It's a surprise for me, I didn't know that. So, Telugus are so receptive regarding all these things. So many questions were arising. My inquisitive search started, and I engaged KPMG to do some work for me about the Telugu OTT. So when I want to start OTT, I can't compare with this Netflix, Amazon, Hotstar, and there are big giants. Some of them are sitting here, and I can't just compare myself if I want to start. So why not a niche Telugu OTT can be there? This is what I thought. I just consulted few friends, and there are niche OTTs are existing. For an extreme example, I have to tell you, one lady in UK is running an OTT, interestingly, about horses, who are all interested in horses. England is more interested in horses these days. So, she's running a very successful OTT just on horses. The pedigrees, the habits of horses, the stud farms, all this, and it's very successful. So, worldwide, niche OTTs are also existing. So I started engaged KPMG to work for me, and then they gave me a lot of data which is encouraging. I consulted my investor friends. They are very much enthusiastic about it, and finally I made my family members, particularly sons, to sit and can I go into this, and they said it is tomorrow's thing, we have to embrace it today. All this encouraged me to go ahead, but my fears stayed back. Something which has got a very people who are in this age. It is not that somebody has not provided, they are ready to receive different content, the very bold content, bold expression, very honest, naive, candid expressions, honesty, all these things they are there to receive it. But thanks to censor or our conventional making, whatever it is, we haven't touched them. Then these platforms touch them, and that kind of, there's a huge reception from youngsters particularly. And it has become a personal viewing. And 85% of today's viewing is by mobiles. So all this makes technology and content together working well. We have to tell different stories, that is for sure. So I have engaged a bunch of youngsters. I have asked my friend to come from Bombay and lead these people, and it's all going on there. So there's still the doubt. Many people ask me, will cinema survive? See, this will cinema survive is not today's. It is when TV has come, in 83, when particularly the color TV has come, people asked me, will cinema survive? It did. And after that, cable onslaught was there, big way. Then people had a doubt, will cinema survive? Yes, it survived. Now, this giant, this lovely giant has come, called OTT. Will cinema survive? I say, it will coexist. It will coexist. TV will coexist, cinema will coexist, and OTT will coexist. Everything will coexist is my take. Because I've been seeing last 30, 35 years how it takes changes. Let's all take the ride of this wave. Last 2 years, I was late in the night watching these shows, but still I'm late in the night doing something, and my friend who is sitting there is calling me 8 to 10 times a day, who is managing this, and sometimes till 1 a.m. And I'm still confused, excited, and I'm very glad Hyderabad is going to become the host of all these technological progressions. And I strongly believe that Hyderabad is going to be the hub. If technology is the bride, content is always the king, and the marriage has to happen. I see Hyderabad as a big pandal where the marriage is going to happen, and without a Purohit, it can't happen. It can't happen. And who is our Purohit? Who is other than Honorable KTR and his team? Thank you, gentlemen, for your patience listening. Thank you very much.
Esteemed members of the industry, I think I couldn't. There was a wonderful statement Sri Allu Arvind garu said about binge watching, and I think that's really what you're going to hopefully take away at the end of today's sessions, and immerse yourself in what we believe is truly a transformative medium to bring alive the storytelling culture of India. At Prime Video, we believe we're blessed with this opportunity to bring compelling stories and creators to the forefront through the medium and the opportunity that we have in front of us. But I must readily admit that as much as an opportunity it is, it would be impossible to fulfill our vision without the support of the entire industry and the collaboration with every single creator in every single field to bring these wonderful stories alive. I am particularly grateful to the good citizens of Telangana in the way they've embraced the entire content presentation that we've made so far in Telugu for the wonderful customers here and the diaspora all over the world. Your encouragement gives us a commitment to go even further, discover even more authentic stories that you care about, and bring your vision alive, through which other people, non-diaspora, as well as people beyond the geography of this country, embrace the stories that come out of here. And we are actively working to bring that vision alive with a whole bunch of creators, and we welcome a whole many more. Lastly, I'd like to leave you with the belief that as much as this opportunity seems so exciting and there's so much more to be done, in the true belief of every single Amazonian, we believe right now the opportunity to bring these stories alive and is immense, but it's really the dawn of day one for content, storytelling, and putting our stories on a global, in a global environment and a rapidly shrinking world. Thank you for the opportunity once again, and I look forward to our interactions.
Doing more than we do as a country as a whole. We are all very proud of our movies, our television, our animation, and so on and so forth. But we currently are very small. We are 0.5% of the GDP of our country. And we have a chance to be about 2.5% of the GDP in our country. We compete all over the world in our industry with government-assisted countries like Canada and so on, which all of you in the room know about. And therefore, it is a very, very happy coincidence that the academia, industry and government come together. I cannot forget the day when I had the great honor of being called by the Honorable Minister for a short dialogue on the sidelines of a big investment summit he was doing. And then he was deeply interested in knowing how to take this forward. This is a few years ago now. I compliment you, sir, and your entire team on not just talking about this, but to walk the talk, and we are seeing that unfold in front of us in all facets. We have been tired of falling between the cracks in New Delhi with Ministry of IT, Ministry of INB, Ministry of various branches, trying to figure out how convergence can happen. And you are demonstrating right here in Telangana that it is happening. So congratulations to you on that as well. There are a few things that absolutely cannot be done by industry alone. And this is in the provision of some infrastructure. These thoughts are not new, and I know that you've been working on, for example, a game park. I think the vision today, if you look at the last 5 years, is far greater. What we do today in our industry is imagery and simulation. And no matter if you're doing work for aerospace or building automotive, cars or whatever, the tools and technologies that we create for our movies and our television are forerunners of what people do in industry. And therefore, my suggestion to you is to broaden the scope and make this the center of excellence for design, imagery, and simulation. And we can all come together to make sure that not only in our content creation for stories, but the stories of how to make sure that industry is revived. We are seeing that job creation and industry needs a big boost in our country. And once again, I think Telangana is perfectly placed to be the flagship for that growth. So I recommend that to you as well. One of the things that international companies see and in India is that our costs rise a lot, and we are no longer, we are a premium provider now, not just a cost provider. There are two opportunities there. We know that, for example, we are about 1% of the world's total value when it comes to media and entertainment, and there's a huge headroom there. And going back 10 years, these digital technologies were 3% of the media entertainment in this country. Today it is 10%. But this is a fallacy. This is what we see with the KPMG reports and the EY reports. The actual fact is that of the 10%, about 75% is for exports. So I encourage that Telangana can look at two different tracks. One is to be the services hub of the world. And the second is to make sure that we use these tools and technologies for the growth of our local business, our local stories, our local content in Telugu and in all languages. And I don't believe that we should be looking at India and our stories only. I think the pendulum is swinging to the east, and I've been traveling in China and Taiwan and Malaysia and everywhere, and they do not have the tools, the technology, the expertise, and the vision that we have in this country. So we can really be a very, very powerful player if we looked at all of these markets. I would like to have, obviously, a working group. I think we can bring people from other parts of the country. I congratulate Twaga on a phenomenal start in the last couple of years. I'm, in my personal capacity, I remember making a promise, and you reminded me about that this morning. Well, while we do not have a company here, you may not know this, but we use 600 artists in Hyderabad over the last 1 year. So that's a partial promise to you, sir. And we'll keep going that. We've used 4 companies here and we're giving them work every single day. And it's a way of coming and making sure that we are shoulder to shoulder with you. I'd like to keep this short, but I'd like to end by saying, I think the future is about creating industry and government coming together. There are people at the bottom of the pyramid, so to say, people whose family incomes are less than 50 or 60 or 70,000 rupees. They are the future. They have craft in their veins. They have a DNA for telling stories. And I would like, on behalf of the industry, to say that whatever fund you put up, 10 lakhs, 1 crore, whatever, we'd like to match that, and I can assure you we'll do that in this year if you come up with a scheme to bring these people into our communities. Thank you very much.
Theatre we launched there with the dual 4K projection, and Bahubali was released there to collect 3.5 crores from one single screen. So the day when we started our first research theatre, in Trivandrum, every year one theatre was getting closed. Not only in Trivandrum, it was the general process in India. Every day one theatre was getting closed somewhere in India. That was the culture. But today, in Trivandrum, when we started, only 11 screens were in Trivandrum. We reversed the process. Today we have 45 screens, and by next year end, we will have 105 screens in a small place like Trivandrum. That is the revolution we could create. The entire scenario in India is now changed. Every day, at least 2 screens are getting opened. Then we start opening the international markets. For the first time, we opened Korean market, Chinese market already opened. The blockbuster revenues are gone up by more than 700%. We set up the best animation studio in Trivandrum. Like that, today Indiawood is the largest importers and exporters of movies. This year, 50 movies are getting released. Last week, we released the one of the biggest hit, Bala, in Middle East. But after doing all these things, we realized that the biggest exploitation what is happening in the industry is in the animation field, animation VFX field. Because after we setting up the studio, even I was in Los Angeles with Honorable Minister KTR. We were visiting DreamWorks together to promote the animation industry. But from my practical experience, I am telling you, when a Hollywood movie is getting budgeted for $20,000 per minute, the same job is getting done in one of the studios in India for $2,000 and $3,000. This is called exploitation. The 2 or 3 people standing in between this line, they are eating all this money instead of giving this money to the industry. As long as this money is not coming to India or this money is not coming to the pockets of the studio, how they can support the people working in the industry? If the firm is not growing, the employees will not grow. If the employees are not growing, that field as such will be affected. How the next generations will be attracted to that field? India is supposed to be the animation hub of the world in the next coming years. But unfortunately, if this practice is going to be encouraged, then the entire generation, the animation people working in the industry will be badly affected, their career will be affected. So my humble request to the entire industry top personalities is to take some decisions, make sure that if a movie is budgeted for $20,000, if it is getting done in India, at least $10,000 should be pumped to the industry. Otherwise, nobody will benefit. Even I won't believe some people are approaching us to do some jobs, animation jobs, even for $500. If a person, a small scale studio is taking a big job for $500, how they can feed the people working in that industry? What is their career growth if they are working in that industry? How they can recommend the next generation to join the industry? This is a bad fact. We need to realize it. We need to take corrective action. Because this I am telling from my entire experience, because Indiawood is covering the entire field. Almost 100 fields are under Indiawood. This animation is only one field. But after covering all these areas, I am telling you, if we are not, because that is the biggest potential is there lying in the animation and VFX. But the biggest exploitation is also happening. Hope we will take some kind of corrective action. Thank you very much for inviting, and please come and visit our stalls here in the Indiawood. Thank you.
A very good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for having me here in the midst of KTR Garu, Arvind Garu, Jayesh Ranjan Garu, and a whole lot of other dignitaries here. I would just, actually Arvind Garu has spoken pretty much everything there is to speak in terms of understanding how important this platform is for a lot of us creative people. And I would like to thank our government of Telangana for encouraging this platform and giving it such strong support. Thank you very much and congratulations again. And I hope we get to see a lot of more creativity coming out. Thank you.